Hello YouTube, Professor Cadre here. Welcome to Tobacco 401 Home Blending. Up to this point, PipeView has mostly been about understanding blends made by other people. For this course, we turned that around. Home blending is the process of combining tobaccos to create something of your own. You do not need professional equipment or rare leaf to get started. What you need is a basic understanding of components, careful measurements, and just like that willingness to experiment.
Yep. So, something I'm interested in doing more, by the way.
Yeah. A blend can be thought of as a collection of jobs. Think about the blend in terms of its components. Virginia for sweetness and brightness, Burley for body and nuttiness, Perique for spice and fruit, Orientals offer a dry, fragrant complexity, Latakia for some smoke and depth, Kentucky for a similar role, Cavendish soften and sweetening the blend.
Yep.
So instead of asking like what tobaccos do I like, ask what does this blend need? What characteristic does the blend need? And that shift is the beginning of blending.
I think what's nice too is if you get your hands on these individual components, and it might be a good idea to just smoke a bowl of each of them,
Mm-hmm.
or less if you want, but just get a sense of what these tobaccos actually do.
I imagine a lot of head blenders would.
Would do that. I definitely.
Yeah,
I would think so.
I imagine they have a clay pipe or a cob for just that purpose. So your first blend does not need 6 ingredients like some blends have. 2 or 3 components are enough, or even just if you're not working from components, just working from existing blends, just combining 2
So
existing blends together a bit.
that's my only experience with blending so far has been I have only a half a bowl of Haunted Bookshop and a half a bowl of I don't even remember what I mixed it with. I'm like, well, these two are going to be a bowl now because
You only had half
I
left.
only had I had only enough. I didn't have enough to make a whole, and I was surprised. I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. It's
Yeah.
not. It's I forget what I did. It was Haunted Bookshop and something else, but I did that with once or twice with something.
If you had the updated version of the app, it would have you would have been able to record it.
Yeah,
Too bad that wasn't out at the time.
exactly. A few weeks ago.
So yeah, you'd want to start with the dominant base tobacco, and then add smaller amounts of supporting or condimental leaf. Make changes gradually. If you change several ingredients at once, it becomes difficult, to understand what actually improved.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I don't know what all we're planning to get into in the video, but I'd imagine like if you're, it might be easier making things from ribbon cut, right? Like if you just literally
Mm.
mixing up, take a mixing bowl or whatever and mix up the tobaccos versus trying to make
Yeah, unless
a
you're doing
flake or
a flake or a plug
yeah.
for the blend, I think that would be the way to go.
Well, I guess it'd be making the plug, you cut it into flakes, but yeah, make a
Yeah,
plug or a cake, I guess, but that could be from ribbon as
the
well.
cake could be made from the ribbon. Yeah.
Um,
But if you change several ingredients at once, you don't know what actually improved or ruined the blend. So
yeah,
you want to make changes, one ingredient at a time.
what I would probably do is at first take like two components, like something I like a vapor, and be like, all right, what's it like with more bright Virginia? What's it like with
Right.
more red Virginia? What's it like with 25% Perique? What's it like with 50% Perique? And kind of
Yeah.
experiment on those subtle ways to find what I like in a
And
vapor or in a
and you'd want to measure and record everything. Consistency matters. Use a scale, record the tobacco used, the weight or the percentage that it's making up in the blend. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact weight that you're using, just a ratio. Uh, the date would probably be a good thing to record. And record your impressions of it. Record adjustments that you make. You're definitely not going to want to rely on memory because, like, as you demonstrated, you don't remember what you blended the haunted bookshop with. And that was not even
yeah,
a
exactly.
complicated situation.
No,
That
it
was
wasn't. It was
just two
tobaccos
things.
I owned and was smoking regularly for
Yeah,
yeah.
a good experiment that can't be reproduced is not really a useful recipe.
Yep.
Yeah, and definitely like the feature of the app that has that when I share the app. That'll be something hopefully people can make use of.
Yeah, Rob's been making this app, and I've been piloting it with him, and it's really cool. It's a pipe journal that gives you insights into you can type write all your pipes you have, all your everything in your cellar, make blend logs, and
Yeah.
it gives you nice little feedback on like, well, this is what you like, this is what you like to
Right.
smoke, and this is little stats, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I'm looking forward to sharing it with, probably pretty soon. With your home blends, you're going to want to give them time. A freshly mixed blend may not taste the same after resting a little bit. You probably want to try it right after you blend it just to establish a kind of baseline. But once the tobaccos are combined, moisture, flavors begin to equalize, disperse. Some mixtures improve significantly after, a few weeks or months. Others, not so much. You might, find that it was, not worth leaving around.
So interesting because there's just so many variables, right? Like on one hand, like our tastes change and evolve, what we like and what we doesn't like. Also, we just get in different moods, right? One day
Yeah,
you're more in the
yeah.
mood for this, more in the mood for that. The tobacco itself changes with
It's
age, like you
definitely
were just describing.
it's definitely got to be a hard part of the profession,
Mm-hmm.
for blenders to,
Yeah, you have to
like,
sit with
as
something for
best
a
as they can,
while.
not affect their palate so that they could know
Yeah.
what they're really working with, that they've actually, accomplished the ratios they're going for. Home blending brings together everything we've learned about tobacco. You begin recognizing what each component contributes, how proportions change, how small adjustments can completely alter the result of the mixture. Start small, measure carefully, keep good records. Accept that some of your experiments are going to fail. That's part of the process. For a practical side, we'll go briefly over it in the home blending 401 lab, where we'll combine a couple blends and test them out.
Sounds good.
Until next time, thanks for watching.